Democrats ended their convention last night with Vice President Kamala Harris accepting the party's nomination for president. And while she didn't explicitly mention price gouging with those words last night, the countdown is on for her ticket and former President Trump's team to prove they have the solutions for Americans' biggest concerns. And no matter what poll you look at across the aisle, it's safe to say a big one is the economy. It's just one of the questions I had for Meet the Press host Kristen Welker. Kristen Welker from NBC's Meet the Press on breaking the news tonight. Kristen, the convention parties are over. The American people now have 74 days to decide, and top of mind for all of them, the economy. So which ticket is scoring well right now on that issue?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Former President Trump does better when it comes to how voters think each candidate will handle the economy. That is why you heard Vice President Harris make a robust argument that she wants to build an economy for the middle class. That's why she talked a lot about her upbringing. She says she was raised largely by her mom, and there was a lot of focus on the economy. The first set of proposals that she rolled out, of course, were economic proposals. But we'll have to see, you know, how this issue plays out. She undoubtedly had momentum going into the Democratic National Convention. Will she build on that? Will that grow now that the convention is over? The next time and the next big event in this race will, of course, be when the two candidates face off at the debate in September, Jenna.
Right, we have those presidential debates in September and then a vice presidential debate in October. I'm talking to you from Minnesota, the state of Governor Tim Walz. What were his impressions to the crowd, would you say, at the DNC?
Look, I think that Governor Walz had the challenge of introducing himself to the American public, because 4 in 10 Americans said they weren't familiar with who he was. So what he did was to talk about, really largely in biographical terms, who he is. He talked about the fact that he's a former teacher, that he's a coach, that he's a veteran, and above all else, that he is a dad. He talked about his time as governor, talked about his time in Congress, and of course his vision for the future, drawing a sharp contrast with former President Donald Trump. I have to tell you, I was in the convention hall. The crowds went wild for his speech, and it was even a louder eruption for Vice President Kamala Harris. So there's no doubt Democrats are energized. And in talking to Democrats today, they have said as much to me. They say they're feeling really good coming out of this convention. But Jana, the big question is, can they keep that momentum going? That is the X factor.
Right. Conventions are one thing, and feelings and joy and hope all one thing too. But there's 74 days to go, and the real race in a lot of ways really starts now.
Oh, it absolutely does. And both of these candidates are going to be crisscrossing the battleground states. Their running mates are going to be crisscrossing the battleground states. I'm going to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to Ohio Senator J.D. Vance in Cincinnati this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation. We'll get his reaction to everything that unfolded at the Democratic National Convention. And then we'll delve into his policy proposals with former President Trump, Jana. So a lot to discuss this weekend on Meet the Press.
Important conversation we won't want to miss. Kristen Welker, thank you so much. You can see her Sunday on Meet the Press.